Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, articles, notes, whatever you've got, and really dig in to find the strategic insights, the useful bits.
Basically cutting through the noise to get you informed fast.
Exactly. And today, wow, we've got some great material from Annie Zhang, CEO of Sweetie Gifts.
Yeah, she shared some really insightful stuff. Annie's got, 20 years in the flower industry, visited markets all over US, Europe.
Works with international clients too, US, Europe, Australia, Japan, South Korea. Plus, she really knows the Chinese flower supply chain, visited the factories.
So a really deep understanding there. It's a fantastic set of sources.
It really is. And our mission today, pulling from her insights, is actually pretty specific, but I think fascinating. We're looking at the strategic use of color.
Specifically in preserved rose boxes.
Right. Especially for B2B markets, think retail, cosmetics, luxury gifts, branded merchandise.
And we're going beyond just, does it look nice? We're trying to unpack how color becomes this powerful tool, communicating brand tone, audience, value.
All from that first glance. It's like a silent language, isn't it?
Totally. So the sources really position color, particularly with these preserved roses in a B2B setting, as pure strategy.
Not just decoration.
No, definitely not an afterthought. I mean, think about it. Color hits you on an almost subconscious level.
Yeah, certain colors make you feel a certain way.
Exactly. They influence mood, trust, excitement, even buying decisions. So for a brand presenting to, say, another business, that visual is their first handshake. It needs to be right.
Okay, so the actual color of the rose, or maybe the box it comes in, carries this kind of emotional weight, this language that brands are deliberately using.
Yeah, they're tapping into that. Let's try and decode some of this language based on the sources.
Sounds good. I mean, it's interesting how a brand chooses, say, red over pink, not just because they like it.
But because they know exactly the feeling or message that color sends.
Okay, well, let's start with the big one. Passion, romance. My mind immediately jumps to red.
Red is definitely the powerhouse there. In preserved roses, it's all about passion, high energy, desire, deep romance.
Some Valentine's Day campaigns, maybe?
Absolutely. Or high fashion tie-ins, luxury fragrance launches. It suits brands that are bold, confident, maybe a bit intense emotionally.
The sources mentioned it's for exclusive passion.
Yeah, that's a key point. It implies something special, high impact, perfect for those really premium product launches.
Okay, so dial back the intensity a bit.
Yeah.
And you land on pink.
Right. Pink shifts the tone. It's more about tenderness, admiration, a softer femininity. Think first love, gentle affection.
Where would we see that used typically?
Mother's Day is a big one. Bridal contexts, definitely. Jewelry brands often use pink. It aligns with brands that project warmth, romance, refinement.
And there are different shades too, presumably.
Oh, yeah. The sources mention gradients, like a really pale pink suggests innocence, sweetness. A deeper rose pink feels more elegant, maybe a bit nostalgic.
Interesting. So you've got intense red, gentle pink. What about something completely different, like white?
White takes you into a whole other space. It's about sincerity, purity, new beginnings, peace.
Weddings.
Weddings, for sure. Commemorative gifts. Maybe lifestyle brands with a very clean, minimalist aesthetic.
So it matches brands going for simplicity, honesty.
Exactly. It enhances that feeling of purity, trust, and it works beautifully with really simple, modern packaging.
Okay, let's flip that completely. What about black? That feels quite dramatic for flowers.
It is dramatic, and that's the point. Black here signals power, sophistication, elegance, real exclusivity.
So high-end stuff.
Definitely. Think high-end collaborations, maybe luxury men's grooming lines, certain fashion partnerships. It speaks to brands that are elite, daring, maybe a bit cutting edge.
The sources mentioned a specific combo.
Yeah, the drama of a bright red rose inside a sleek, matte black box. That just screams prestige.
I can picture that.
Okay.
Moving to cooler tones. Blue.
Blue brings in feelings of loyalty, professionalism, calmness, tranquility.
Corporate gifting, maybe?
Spot on. Corporate gifts, Father's Day promotions, partnerships with maybe tech or finance companies. It aligns with brands wanting to project trustworthiness, intelligence, being cool-headed.
Does it have a particular audience appeal?
Well, the sources suggest it can resonate well with male audiences, and it's definitely strong for business-to-business gifting.
Okay. And purple, that always feels a bit more unique.
It does, doesn't it? Purple often symbolizes wisdom, nobility, sometimes a spiritual connection or deeper meaning.
So who uses purple?
Brands that are maybe more artistic, unconventional, Or ones focused on heritage or unique themes. Think art collaborations, things like that. It stands out.
Because it's less common.
Exactly. It helps create a sort of signature feel, an exclusive aura, because you don't see it as much as red or pink.
Right. Now, for celebration, luxury, I immediately think metallics, gold, silver.
Yep, you got it. Gold and silver are like instant shorthand for prestige, festivity, a premium experience.
Holiday campaigns.
Perfect for holiday campaigns, loyalty rewards, those year-end thank you gifts. They suit brands gaming for grandeur, exclusivity, celebration. Metallic touches just instantly make something feel more valuable, more special.
Okay, last one on the color wheel, at least for now, green.
Green is really interesting and increasingly relevant. It symbolizes renewal, health, growth, and importantly, sustainability.
Ah, so eco-friendly brands.
Exactly. Eco-friendly themes, wellness collaborations, brands focusing on natural ingredients or, responsible practices. It connects with brands that stand for life, vitality, nature, those core values.
Wow, okay, so each rose color is sending quite a distinct signal. But the sources say the box is just as important, right? It's not just about the flower.
Absolutely critical. The box isn't just a container, it's part of the whole message. Its color, its style, its texture, it all communicates something.
Like a matte black box feels different from a shiny one.
Totally. Matte black feels bold, refined, great for premium cosmetics, maybe high-end jewelry.
Okay. And what about, say, a clear box?
A transparent acrylic box that feels very modern, honest, almost techy. Perfect for brands that want to showcase the product clearly, maybe appeal to influencers or a younger demographic.
And softer boxes, like white or blush.
Those communicate femininity, gentleness, very effective in, say, bridal markets or for spa and wellness brands.
And little details matter too, like gold foil.
Oh, yeah. Gold foil accents immediately add sophistication. It signals special edition or premium without being too loud. It's layering the message.
It really is. And the sources mentioned that companies like Sweetie Gifts can actually match both the flower and the packaging to a brand's specific Pantone colors.
Which is huge for brand consistency, right? If you've got a specific brand blue, you want that blue. Pantone matching ensures that precise color reproduction, which is vital for brands with really strict visual guidelines.
This is where it gets really practical, seeing how actual brands pull this off. The sources gave a couple of great examples. First, Armani's Eternal Love gift box.
Yeah, the Armani example is fascinating because of the palette complexity. They use deep red roses, bang, that intense passion.
Okay.
But then they put them in a matte black box interior that creates elegance, sharp contrast.
Right.
Then they added champagne gold bamboo leaves that brings in vitality, luxury, and softened it all with earthy gray hydrangeas for depth.
That sounds incredibly thought through, not just random choices.
No way. This high-contrast layered palette was deliberately crafted to mirror Armani's brand DNA. Bold emotion, yes, but delivered with real sophistication. It had to instantly say, Armani.
Especially for something like a fragrance line, maybe in competitive retail or high-end corporate gifting.
Exactly. That visual identity is crucial. Okay, then the other example. The British Museum's Alice in Wonderland gift dome. Totally different feel.
Yeah, that sounds whimsical. How did color work there?
Completely different strategy. The main flower was a lavender preserved rose, that unique, slightly mysterious purple we talked about. Wisdom, maybe a touch of magic.
Fitting for Alice.
Right. Then they added accents of light yellow and khaki. That brought in softness, nostalgia, like a vintage storybook feel.
And the dome itself.
The structure had dark detailing, but was clear, sort of echoing an iridescent glass cup, enhancing that antique collectible vibe.
So it's not just one color's meaning, it's how they all combine to create an atmosphere.
Precisely. The whole combination created the storybook world. It tapped into emotion, nostalgia, and signaled collectible item. Perfect for a cultural institution like the British Museum selling merchandise linked to its themes. Color building a narrative.
That's really powerful. Okay, so for you listening, maybe you're managing a brand or you're a buyer or maybe just curious about why things look the way they do. If you were going to use preserved roses strategically like this, what are the key questions the sources say you should ask?
Yeah. The sources lay out some practical guidance. First, number one, who is actually receiving this gift? Know your audience, their demographics, their likely preferences.
Because that drives the emotional response you want, right?
Yeah.
Comfort, desire, trust, excitement.
Exactly. What feeling are you aiming for? Then think about timing. Is it seasonal holidays, Mother's Day, or is it an evergreen product available all year? That might shift your color choices.
And maybe the biggest one, what's the core vibe of your brand? Are you clean and modern, bold and dramatic, soft and romantic, rich and luxurious?
That core brand personality really needs to anchor all of the color decisions, make sure it aligns.
The good news, according to the sources, is that you can customize all this stuff.
Absolutely. From the specific rose shade to the box texture, ribbons, other embellishments, and importantly for businesses.
Things like low MOQs, minimum order quantities.
Right, meaning you don't necessarily need to order thousands for a custom job. Plus, the Pantone matching we mentioned, reliable global shipping, good quality control, those are crucial practical elements that make this strategy doable.
It makes it accessible, not just for huge corporations.
Yeah, it takes away some of the guesswork and lets brands really execute these color strategies effectively, even for targeted campaigns or smaller batches.
So when we boil it all down, what's the main takeaway here?
I think it's that color, especially in this context of preserved roses for B2B, is way more than just aesthetics. It's a genuinely sophisticated, powerful, strategic tool.
A silent ambassador for the brand.
That's a great way to put it. It communicates the brand's essence, its values, the whole feeling it wants to create, often before a single word is read. It's communication at a glance.
It really is.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? Just consider all the colors you see every day. Packaging, websites, ads. What are those silent messages they're sending you about the brand, who they think you are, how they want you to feel, even if you don't consciously notice it?
Something to definitely keep an eye out for.
It's happening constantly. A fascinating world, the language of color.